Yo, what is up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Yeat type beat in FL Studio. But before we get into that, just be sure to check out my socials, do all the YouTube stuff, and of course, make America Twizy again. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be showing you how to make a Yeat type beat in FL Studio. This beat's pretty hard, and one of my friends actually wanted me to do a video on this beat in particular. So I figured I might as well just crack it out of the stash and show you how I made this beat, because honestly I kind of forgot I made this beat, so it'd be kind of interesting to look back at. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's just see here. This is a kind of old beat, so I kind of gotta remember some stuff, but I thought it was pretty cool actually, and so I'm glad my friend recommended this to me to showcase a little bit. For the main section of the beat right here, this is what I would call the main section. This right here is the whole hook, and it has two top lines. But this is the the more common, the main top line. So we'll start on this section first, right here, and we'll just go ahead and dive into the main melody right here. So in a lot of Yeat beats, I've noticed that like the first and the fifth are usually the chords you want to play. It's pretty open chords, and I believe if you play them on guitar, they're called like power chords or something. And so they just have like that kind of signature Yeat underground kind of synthy sound. And then other than that, I just have like this note that like stutters a lot, but I have it rising in velocity. I don't know if you can see that, but I have it rising like a lot in velocity, and so it just sounds like a reverse note. So it just helps it like flow better to the second half. And then I have it up an octave right here. But here's what that sounds like. Let me drag this down so you can see all the notes. And so that's pretty much the main melody. It goes throughout the entire beat, and I really like it. It's just kind of a bouncy, catchy kind of rhythm, and so I feel like it kind of goes with the beat really well. And then for our first top line, which is more of just like a rhythmic like texture kind of top line kind of thing. I have another thing from GMS. If you notice, I think I literally just found like some cool presets in GMS or something. Like I just discovered it for the first time or something, because it's like all GMS. But anyways, I found this preset in GMS, and it's pretty catchy. And then I did the same thing with the velocity, where it like grows over time whenever it's stuttering. So it just adds a little bit more movement to a top line and adds more depth to it. So anyways, here's what that sounds like. And so that with the main melody sounds like this. And so I really like how those two sound together especially. But moving on to the second top line, it's more of a lead, and it's more catchy, and it just moves around a little more. So this is more like a normal lead that you would typically hear in a beat like this. So is also in GMS, but here's what that sounds like. And then for the effects on this one, it's pretty interesting sounding, because I put some effectrix on it, and I turned the mix knob down a little bit, and then I put a flangus on it just to give it a little bit more movement. It's not something super noticeable, but it just kind of helps spice it up a little bit. And then this is what they both sound like together. And so I think they also sound pretty good together, and so they kind of just flow together really well in this. I think the two counters like switching off, like if they were playing at the same time, I don't know if I'd like it as much, but since they're like switching off, I think it sounds pretty cool. And then obviously right here we got the bell. This song already was turned, but here's a bell. Every night I know it's rich as hell. But for whenever I do bells, for Yeat beats, I like to do like this one preset in like Keyscape. It's like a bell tower or something, and then I kind of just turn the color shift knob to where it's a little bit more higher end, and then it just, I don't know, it sounds like an epic bell. It sounds crazy. So that's what I do to literally like all my Yeat beats, because I just think it sounds like so fire. But it's just a simple pattern just to accent some of the notes. And so I will not play it by itself because it's just a bell. But I'll play it with the main melody so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. And so, yeah, I just really like how that bell sounds. It sounds crazy to me. And it's like, there are some bell one-shots, but I've never had one sound as good as just pulling one up in Keyscape. And I literally rendered out that sound to make a one-shot too, because it's such a fire bell. But yeah, moving on, let's go to the drums real quick. So let's just start off with a snare and the hi-hats. Typical just snare pattern. And then for the hi-hats, I have kind of the Yeat pattern, as my friend calls it, is like the like but it sounds kind of like that, but I have some pauses in between, and you know, like some velocity decays and rises and stuff. It just adds a little bit of movement. It's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just play it for you. And so here's what the hi-hats and the snare sound like together. And so it kind of goes along with the melody, honestly, if you can hear it. You know, like, it just, I don't know. You might be able to hear it, but it kind of goes with the melody. So actually, I'll play them together. So it's like. If you can kind of hear that, cool. Maybe I'm just tripping, but I think it goes along with the melody pretty well. And then for the rim roll, I mean, it's pretty much just at the end of a 4-bar phrase. I have like a little roll. This one is slower than this one, just to kind of keep it interesting. So, I mean, I'll just cut to the end of the phrases, and you can hear what they sound like. And out of context, like, they might sound a little weird, but whenever I play it all together, you will be like, oh, shoot, that sounds pretty fire, hopefully. But moving on, this is the open hat that I have. Pretty interesting, honestly. I don't really know how this is supposed to sound. Anyways, it should be pretty cool sounding, hopefully, or else I wouldn't have kept it in. But so it looks like after the basic ones on every other bar, you have like some sauce following up to add a little bit more balance. So anyways, here's what all the percussion sounds like together. And now moving on to the 808s and the kicks. For the 808 pattern, I have, oh shoot, I actually have two 808s. Okay, so, okay, let me see if I can explain how this is going down. If you don't know how to do two 808s, you go and you pick one 808, right? And you come in here, you do the envelope like this, and you go here and you make sure you see what numbers are in the cut by, and make sure they're the same number, like 6 and 6, so it cuts itself. And then if you want to add a second 808, you do the same thing with the envelope, and then you come in here and you make it the same cut by. So this one's also 6 by 6. That means the second 808 is going to cut off the first 808 if it plays, so they're not going to overlap and clash and cause a huge mess. But, I mean, I'd probably go more in depth in another video later, if you want me to, but that's pretty much the basics of it. So for the first 808, I have, like, this first phrase right here, and this is all, like, one 808, and then the second 808 takes up this space right here, and I have it repeat that over and over again, so that's why there's spaces right here. But so I have like a little phrase right here, and then it trades off to the other 808, and a little phrase right here, and it trades off to the other 808. And it pretty much just follows the bass notes in the melody. and I have like a little bit of a bounce to it. As you can see right here, it's kind of hard to explain, but I have like the velocities, you know, going down to add a little bit of bounce, like up an octave with some slides, a little bit of the sauce, and then for the second 808, I have obviously just a filler in some spots, and then at the end of the phrase is where I like to sauce up my drums. So like at the end of a 4-bar phrase is where I like to sauce up my drums a little bit. So I'll add a little bit of a different bounce, like this one right here, with the velocities going a little crazy. And then like at the end of the 8-bar is where I really like to spice up drums. Like I'll add rolls and stuff at the end of the 8 bars. And so yeah, it's a pretty interesting bounce right here with some velocity changes and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain based off of what it looks like. So here's just what the 808s together sound like. And then the kicks, kind of like how I always do, they kind of just accent the notes that I want them to accent. So they will actually hit where the 808s don't hit sometimes. So like right here, the 808 switches and the kick doesn't switch because, you know, it's not a part that I want to accent. And if you use a kick that's like where it hits where the 808 doesn't, for some reason it just makes it hit harder. You know, like you have the 808 and the kick trading off, it adds some crazy bounce to it. So that's what I like doing a lot, but also just accenting certain notes. So like the downbeat, I will usually always have a kick there, and then on the parts where I want it to be punching kind of hard, I always have a kick there. So it's kind of hard to explain, but it's pretty much just a simple pattern where some of the notes are where the 808 doesn't hit, so it just adds some bounce. It's kind of hard to explain. If you want me to go more in depth on stuff like this, just let me know. And I should be able to make a video about it. And you know, like show you some crazy sauce. But anyways, here's what the kick and the 808 sound like together. And so as you can hear, it just hits when the 808 doesn't hit sometimes. And so it just goes crazy. It sounds really nice. And I like doing that to a lot of my beats. Alright, so that's going to be it for the beat. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. And let me know, like I said once more, if you want me to go in any depth on any tricks or anything that I was talking about in this video. I should be able to make a whole video about it and show you some stuff. And hopefully you'll learn something interesting from it. Just some stuff that I picked up over the years. But if you want me to do that, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, let me know, and be sure to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. And yeah, check out my socials. And then other than that, I'm gonna let this beat play out, and I will see you in the next one.